Hello, hello. We should be live. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see the Bitcoin chart? And hear the music? Volume's okay? Audio plus video good. Awesome. Welcome everyone. Second stream this week. We had some price action past 2 days. Saw some downside first, now back up again, so we'll cover that, give my thoughts on Bitcoin, my plans as usual, and then we'll cover some altcoins, especially the trades that I'm in right now, and then do some requests as always. Just gonna wait like a couple more minutes so some people can join, some more people, and then we'll start. So how's everyone doing? Everyone survived the carnage, the downside. Well, it wasn't that much downside honestly, but I can imagine a lot of people didn't expect it to even dip to 65k, although it was just a small dip, and I definitely could have seen it dip a lot lower, and I still could, but yeah, so I hope everyone survived. Hope everyone bought the dip. I did long some additional altcoins on my competition account, WSOT account, but it looks like I longed the freaking weakest coins out there. Well, this one's okay. Mog, still looking clean, and then I long Pendle before it did this ugly wick, and that's the thing that I don't like at the moment, but I'll give my thoughts on this in a second. Strong hourly close here. Hourly and 2 hour close. Pretty strong. But into key resistance, you know. But hey, look at how beautiful this Monday range was. Anyways, 2 more minutes. Hello, Pablo Disco Bar. What's up? Good to see you, man. From the sofa. Nice. All right. I think we can get started. So, gonna start with Bitcoin as usual, then do some altcoins. So, starting with Bitcoin, where were we trading? Where were we trading? Last stream was right here. Okay. The areas that we were watching were our daily range mean, right? From this big ass range that we've been trading in for months. That range mean was our key level to watch, and look at how beautifully we retested that level to the tick, right? And it's no hindsight, right? I've had that level, from before the tick. And what's special is about that level is that it's not a level on its own. It also lines up beautifully with some other stuff like 12-hour demand, for example, which is right here. You could take this gray box and make it a little bit bigger. I had it like this because I drew it on the 4-hour, right? This little box here, which was sideways price action before this leg to the upside, and also the area where this fuckery happened and where we pumped hard from, right? If you zoom in on this price action on the lower time frame, this was the price action where we pumped hard from, then wicked below but closed above, and then started running from again. Okay, so that area was gonna be key. And so that's why I was watching 65 to 66k level for a potential bounce. If that level didn't hold, I was watching lower. I posted a scenario yesterday where I said that I could definitely see a scenario where we wick lower down and wick below range mean. That's also what I explained in the last stream, that I could definitely see us wick below range mean, but see a good close above, and if not, and we closed below, see in the next candle a huge pump back above. Okay, and that's where I would still be bullish and targeting higher, unless we stayed below range mean, consolidated here, and just overall saw weakness. At that point, I would be targeting lower down here, these lows. But as long as that didn't happen, I was bullish. And as you can see, the reaction at range mean, not just a random level, as you can see, ticked it. And we're up, what is it? 4% already from the lows, okay? Now, the more important question, what's next, right? So what I like doing, especially on these lower time frames, is always mark out your OTEs. And I first marked out the OTE from this low to this high, which was simply the latest leg to the upside. And as you can see, OTE was around 66,150 and is also the area where we bounced from, okay? From the low here to the high here, the retrace happened into OTE. What would be the key resistance to break in order for us to make another leg higher, right? And to assume that this was a leg, this was a retrace, and that we were going to see another leg? Well, simply draw your OTE again, but now a bearish OTE from the high to the low, the high that led to the low of the retrace. And as you can see, how do I make this clear? I'll remove this one for now. As you can see, from the high to the low, I'll just draw it again so it's clear. From the high to the low. And as you can see, that area is just beautiful. Why? Because it has a lot of confluence again, okay? Firstly, the sideways price action right here that led to all of the downside, meaning there's gonna be supply up there. Clean highs right here, so rounded price action. I was already targeting these highs when we were trading here. I was looking for a little sweep of that high to look for weakness, not short into that, but to take profit on my longs. unfortunately, I longed this way too early. I was already long on the sweep of Monday low. Luckily, I got out around break even after the dump, and my stop loss was right below this range mean, so got front ran. Was a bit lucky there, but you know, I had my invalidation, I had my risk managed, and yeah, it played out. We held, so that's good. But yeah, so this OTE area lining up with supply and lining up with the area right above these highs, which is going to be key liquidity, is definitely an area you want to be watching. Okay, you're already seeing right now that on, yeah, especially the 4 hour, we wicked above the highs, not that much, so I could see another push really into OTE, but I don't think that we break above here in a straight go. Okay, you're barely gonna see that. We haven't seen it in ages, and most importantly, we're still trading at range highs here, and we're still trading at the last resistance before all-time highs. Okay, draw it however the fuck you want, right? Up here like this or like this, doesn't matter. We are at the highs, and you just know you can expect bears to defend this area before you move to new all-time highs, because you know if it breaks out and it goes for all-time highs, you're probably not gonna get any more dips, and it's just gonna keep ripping. Okay, so last resistance here. So what am I watching, right? Look for weakness into this blue supply area lining up with OTE. As I've said, I'm not shorting. I just don't think it's worth it. Because if I would have taken, like in a bullish market structure on the higher time frame, your low time frame short setups have a lower probability than in a bearish market structure on the high time frame, right? And since we're in my opinion trading bullish on the higher time frames, right? In the higher time frames, it's looking very, very good. It's not worth it for me to look for low time frame shorts. Okay, your shorts are gonna get invalidated, and you are gonna take more stop outs compared to when you just take those short setups and not take those short setups, but just think about them and use them to de-risk on your altcoins, and just in general be cautious on aping into anything, right? So trading in here, I already know I'm not gonna ape into anything new here unless we maybe do something like this, boom, and then come back down here, and that's where I would look for some additional longs, because at that point, right, that's gonna be the key area to watch. More about that later. But right into this resistance, right, I'm not interested in shorts, but I am going to be cautious. Okay, as you can see, we're seeing some downside here. Not surprised at all, right? It's now you have high time frame lost area of resistance before new all-time highs, and if you assume that you're not gonna do this and then smack down, and that if this high gets broken, that you're moving to all-time highs, then you now also have on the lower time frames an area which is lost resistance before all-time highs, and that's going to be this blue area. Okay, so with that being said, what do I think happens next? But more importantly, what are my plans for Bitcoin? Well, like I said, I would be surprised. We've kind of had a V formation and just straight went back up. I would be surprised if we continue to do so and move straight to all-time highs. I think a scenario where we see more ranging, maybe wick up here, smack back down, see some downside, see some more ranging, right? I don't know where, maybe even come back down all the way for these lows and still wick below range mean, get back above and rip from there after a while. In my opinion, that's a much more likely scenario compared to the one where we just move to new all-time highs from here. I just don't see that happening. So that's also how I'm gonna play it. I'm currently focusing more on altcoins. Since I'm in Bitcoin longs from all the way down here from range lows. Well, 57, I think, somewhere around there. And I'm just holding them because I think we won't see range lows again before at least 80K. Okay, so I'm just chilling in those and I'm focusing on altcoins. And meanwhile, I'm letting Bitcoin do its own thing. So if Bitcoin pops here, like I said, de-risk into blue, because in my opinion, that's key resistance. Where would I be looking for longs? Well, if we do that and we do something like this, get back down here. By the way, no, this is not really the time period that I'm just illustrating how I see price action going. No matter the time frame, okay? So if we go up here, right, sweep the highs into OTE, get back down, I'd be looking for an area right below this low here, somewhere around here, to look for a bounce, okay? Take this low maybe, and then long there, so get back up, back above Monday low, and then maybe we get a step at Monday high. But straight from here, I don't see that happening, okay? If we do so, for example, do something like this, and we see some retrace, guess where OTE is going to be resting, right? Say we go to OTE, your bullish OTE again. As you can see, you can just keep drawing these OTE levels, and you're going to see they have a very high success rate. So where's OTE going to be resting? Well, right below here. So look for longs on the retest, lining up with Monday low, lining up with demand, right? This sideways price action, this sideways price action. People were accumulating positions there. So that's definitely going to be some support in my opinion. If that fails to hold and we close the 4 hour below Monday low again, right? Then I think we get another step at these lows, and at that point probably this low as well. And then I'll just be looking for the scenario that I talked about before. Look for a wick below here, but I think wicks below range mean here will be short-lived and will be bought up aggressively. So look for the sweep there, boom. Look for longs if you're not in already. Look for spot buys if you're not in already. Or look to add to your positions, or look to long some altcoins that look hot at the same moment. Look for the strongest ones and play it like this. But I personally see no reason why this wouldn't go for 80K from here. What I just think is that it needs some more ranging, okay? We didn't retest this just to move straight to new all-time highs. If we do so, happy days, right? I'll gladly take it. But yeah, I just don't see that happening personally. Okay, any questions for Bitcoin? Need to break neckline resistance at 70K. Yeah, just the area in general, right? If we break above there, it's probably gonna keep going up for a while. But until then, it's still in a ranging environment. And currently, we're ranging in between range mean and 69K, I would say. 69,420, you know? No worries. Crypto, euro. Right. So Bitcoin's clear. Let's do some altcoins then. Gonna start off with TIA. Looks like we're sort of breaking out on TIA finally. I mean, some ugly closes, right, on the 4 hour. But if you look at it on the hourly, it's simply grinding up, right? If you take a look at this trend line, you know I'm not a fan of trend lines, but you can see this as a clean breakout, right? Nothing changed on the daily. As you saw yesterday, right, on the dump on Bitcoin, this literally barely moved, right? If you compare this to Bitcoin yesterday, look at this wick. You're gonna see the same wick on most of the altcoins, but TIA literally didn't move. kept trading in between this, even lost daily low didn't get swept, right? So strength, I don't know what it is, you know. We have these unlocks coming. I feel like a lot of people are shorting this, thinking it will dump, but you know, it's just not dropping, and the chart, in my opinion, looks very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if this rips to the upside out of nowhere. What's gonna be my first TP? Well, first TP is gonna be this local range high, right? From the low to the high, range set, mid-range gonna be pivotal. I'll probably take off half there. Well, I'm long on a WSOT account as well, on a lightweight, so I'll more than likely close most out on that one. On my 10k account, I'll likely close half up here and hold the rest 25% for daily range highs up here, and the rest for weekly resistance, if you look at it this way, up here. As you can see, I've drawn this as well, liquidity up here in this gray box. That's the spot I bought. Okay, I've bought spot a couple weeks ago actually. I think in here. Also because I just liked the way we deviated below range low and we had unswept highs above. So I do think a spot buy makes sense as well. So yeah, I'm really bullish on TIA. And as you can see, just looking at the blind charts as well, it just looks good for upside, you know. So that's why I'm holding. Now, I could see, so it's always good to take a look at both scenarios, up and down. So I could see another down move before the upside. Now, what would I be looking for then? You can already see it. We have clean lows right here. And what's below there? Demand, sideways price action that led to this. OTE from the low to the high. So if we get this, dump in there, reclaim this and send it to the highs. So that's why my stop is below there. It's safe. It should be safe. If this gets stopped out below here, then I'm just wrong on this ID and I could see it wick a lot lower. At that point, it will likely wick below these lows into range low. And then we'll see from there. But personally, I don't see that happening. But we'll see, you know. Still bullish on this one. BNB, right? Crazy ride so far. Longed the exact top on this one. But I had my invalidation. Already nice reaction from... Let me remove these. Yep. So I had my invalidation below this daily demand, lining up with daily range mean, right? Bounced there nicely, already seeing some upside. Now, daily doesn't have a big wick to the downside, so I could definitely see something. If we mark that out and zoom in again, could definitely see one, because this is key resistance, right? Could definitely see something where we wick down below there again, more ranging, but then I think it does something crazy. So definitely gonna be holding BNB longs. I'm swing long on this and in a lower time frame long, so two long positions on two different accounts. I'm bullish on BNB. If it gets below there, right, I could see this wick all the way below these lows, and then I'll be looking for new longs there. Well, my swing long, as you can see, my stop is below there, entry there, target very high, new all-time highs. So that one should be safe no matter what. But this one, right, if this gets stopped, I'll likely look for new longs if we sweep these lows. Right. Okay, that's that. Then we have MOG. Oof, that's looking ugly. Right, so I was initially long. So the daily, you know, it's just a clean range on the daily here. We broke above range mean, was looking strong, was targeting new all-time highs and even all the way up here, right? So zooming in on the lower time frames, the range that we were trading in above our daily range high, this one, okay, from the high to the low, high swept. Well, back then we weren't trading there. So we had equal highs, this one and this one. I'm not sure where I longed this exactly. I think it was like somewhere here. And I had my invalidation below here. And then this happened, we broke out. I took off half at 1 hour. You can see it in the Discord. Publicly said that I was taking off 1 hour. And then we saw this, right? No follow through at all. So I closed the reminder at break even. Still a nice trade, but broke back inside the range. And then what did I say? Well, with all of these lows here unswept at that point, I don't feel comfortable in holding longs again, but because all of the liquidity down here and the draw was to the downside, also because we swept the highs. So that's why I closed. Yesterday on the Bitcoin downside, this obviously also went down and we did sweep range lows, which was a very good, a good thing for bulls. And also the reaction, right? Strong bounce up here, telling us that there was in fact quite some liquidity resting below there and that it wanted to trade higher. Okay, so I am bullish again on this one and I am in longs. My entry is horrible. Oh, on this one it's fine actually. It's on the other one that it's worse. But as you can see, that's the trade that I'm in. It's a basic range trade, you know, range on top of range high, high swept, low swept, continuation range to the upside. So quickly in an uptrend, right, you go up, you make a high, you make a low, high gets swept, low gets swept, and then if you break above range mean, that should be your confirmation to move to the highs. You can take an aggressive long before breaking above there, but then you keep your stops pretty wide, right? So that's your range here, like this. So you can take an aggressive long on the reclaim of range low, but then you keep your stops pretty wide in case you sweep again, if you target a lot higher. But if you make a clean break above range mean, right, that at that point you should see continuation to the upside and your stop should be safe below range low. Okay, and that's what I think is happening here. High, low, from the up rally, high swept, low swept, strong reclaim of range low, so telling us that buyers are definitely still interested, right? Currently got rejected a bit by range mean, but in my opinion this is breaking above here and at least sending to range high, and from there if you break above here sending to new highs, right? Invalidation super clean, not only below range low here, so I kept it right there below range low for now, because if we sweep that we likely wick below here, and if that happens I think everything will go a lot lower. Okay, so that's the trade I'm in. As you can see, we're, oh yeah, I was saying, yeah, confluence, right? So if we break below there, draw our OTE again from the low to the high, you can already see OTE resting right at that confluence area of this range low and our daily range high level. So what you want to see now, right, you wicked below, you traded quickly below this area, took liquidity and boom, smashed back above. So what you want to see now is for this area to hold. Okay, so that's why the aggressive long here and invalidation below there. So I just want to see this rip now. Then I think high probability that happens. Okay, everything clear so far? Do you have a non-KYC ref link? Unfortunately not, sorry. Do you use indicators? No, not really. I sometimes look at the Ichimoku cloud on the high time frame, but that's just to give me an idea of what's happening, you know. but mostly I just use pure price action. How do you get the entry triggers on that range? On the range? What do you mean exactly by entry triggers? It's more about context, you know? What I always look for is for a plan to come together, and very important to have a clean invalidation. For this one, right, we swept the lows, so lows are swept. We have a continuation range, upside, range high, range low, range high swept, range low swept. And we have invalidation below all of the areas, below all of the levels that I just explained, all of the things, right? Demand, OTE, and the fact that we swept this aggressively and saw a really good bounce, telling me that there's no business down here again. There's no business trading back down here again, okay? And then I just long, and you know, people are always looking for an exact entry trigger, but that's just not how it works in my opinion. Like, yeah, you could wait for the close above, but candle closes can very often be very misleading. How many times have we seen an ugly close below a level just for price to open and just send straight back above the level and close again there the next day, right? So I do use candle closes from time to time, but then again, I have a clean invalidation, and I will never bet on continuation, especially to the downside in market conditions like this, on a candle close. Look at Bitcoin, for example. Oh, look, this is pretty funny. This is where I went on vacation, and this was my plan. Enjoy the summer and then come back after, and price ripping higher. But unfortunately, it took a little bit longer, but still funny. So what was I saying? Candle closes, right? For example, on the weekly, this one, right? A lot of people were looking for a wick below here. And what did they do? Ugly close. Everyone was looking for lower. Everyone was bearish, shouting, we're going for 40k, right? And what did price do? Next weekly candle, ripped up. Every short stopped out, squeezed out, boom. Straight back to 70k. Damn, this weekly looks amazing. But yeah, we'll have to wait for the weekly close, in my opinion. I'm not expecting a straight breakout here, but you can't ignore the fact, where is the daily range? Yeah, the fact that this looks absolutely beautiful. Range high, range low, range mean, smashed above, beautiful retest, already bouncing very nicely. But yeah, like I said, I don't see us do this, especially on like the 4 hour. And I think it will be something like this, back down here, and then maybe up again. Do you mind explaining OTE again? So OTE is basically used for if you're looking for longs, right? Look for longs on a dip and on a retrace into OTE, and the same the other way around. If you're looking for shorts, look for shorts on the pump into resistance and into OTE. If you want to look for longs, you draw your OTE from the low to the high and look for longs on the retrace into OTE, and the same the other way around. So from the low to the high, right? And then you want to look for longs on the retrace there. And you'll never see me use this on its own. I always look for confluence at these levels. So what you want to look for is not this, but look for maybe some lows, right? If up here there has been some sideways price action, if there's a monthly open, stuff like that, you have liquidity resting there. You look for a sweep of those lows into OTE, then you don't only have a clean plan and you're targeting higher, right? You're not only betting on continuation of the trend because the trend was up, but you also have a really clean invalidation, not only below OTE, but also below demand, below that monthly open and stuff like that. So that's quickly how I use OTE. But I have a video on range trading on my, it's my pinned post on Twitter. What do you think about fund firms instead of own money? Difficult one. I don't know. I feel like they have two sides, right? So the positive side is that if you're a really good trader and you don't have the capital, you can try out a fund and apply for a funded account and trade with more and get more profits. But on the negative side, if you have the numbers on how many people pay to do the tests to get a funded account and fail, you'd be surprised, I think. And yeah, I also don't think that, like, if you're a really good trader and you don't have the capital, like, if you're really good, you should have the capital, no? Even if you start with very less, if you're that good, just trade that money on your own, go a little bit more aggressive, and you'll get there. So yeah, I feel like for most people, it's not the best idea. Also because you're not used to trading with that size, you know? That people underestimate sizing. I have a pretty fun story. Back when I started this trading thing in like 2017, 2018, yeah, I was just fucking around, you know, trying stuff out. I was already posted on Twitter. It's probably a little bit later, probably like 2018, somewhere there. I also had my Discord group, and a guy came up to me. It was, I don't know, a guy from Saudi Arabia or something, and he said, I want you to trade with my money. And at that point in time, I didn't have a lot of money. I did trade, but I don't know, it was like with 5 figures or something, probably not even. And he came up to me and he wanted to give me like, I don't know, $500,000 or something. And I was all excited. I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna make me rich. He wanted to do something with API and the profits we would split, blah blah blah. So I contacted a lawyer and actually made up a contract for him, and then last minute he said no, and he dropped it. And in hindsight, if I think about it now, it would have been the worst decision that I could make back then. So I'm really happy that I didn't do it, because I realize now how long it took me personally to size up from a lower capital account to a higher, you know, to more money, and just the emotional thing. Like, people think that you're gonna feel the same if you lose $100 in one clip and then you use 20k in one clip. Like, trust me, if you lose 20k when you're not used to it, you're gonna freak out, you know? So yeah, I don't know, could work for some, but I feel like funded accounts fail for most. How old are you? I am 25. That was a very good setup in LO on Bitcoin. What's LO? Retest flip Monday low while closing hourly fair value gap and testing M15 or London Open, yeah. Yeah, you mean this one, right? That was beautiful, this retest. Seems like we're gonna make some new highs again here. But like I said, I wouldn't FOMO into anything right here. Break above probably this area. That's gonna be key. Wouldn't be surprised if we wake up there and yeah. But hey, if we break out straight away, I'm not the one who's gonna get left behind. So what was I talking about? Alt setups, right? So the next one that I entered was Pendle. Daily, right? Daily range low reclaimed, equal highs, sorry, broke above there, lower time frame range, right? Wait, this even, oh, it made an equal high. Yeah, I think we trade up there again. But what I liked about this one was it's similar to Mock, you know, deviated or swept all of this liquidity here, and look at the reaction. Strong reaction. Now retesting this sideways price action that was resistance, flipped into support, right? Now retesting that again. So in my opinion, this is continuation, at least towards range mean. I really like this one. So, but my entry for this one was one that's pretty deep ahead. As you can see, could have gotten a way better entry. I said I would add on this one, but since I'm also in Mog right now, like those two trades are on my WSOT account, and I said I would add, but I don't like how Bitcoin's trading into resistance, so I'm just gonna chill with what I have at the moment. Okay, so TIA we did with nothing too much to update. I liked the reaction yesterday from the lows, was pretty strong. But again, what we said on previous stream still counts. We still swept the highs, retested, and have clean lows below us. So the only way I get really bullish on this again is if we break above here, right? Resistance, like it's drawn here, or look for longs if we see lower prices. So that's with BNB we did, strong as well. You will see BNB is gonna do something crazy. Bet on it. And TIA as well, at least towards this range. I'm excited, man. I'm just excited in general. The markets are fun again. It's like all the time, well, previous winter and even the summer was so fucking boring. I was like losing it. But finally some volatility is coming back. Everything looks good again. Maybe it's me, you know, but I'm excited again to just, I sort of enjoy just diving into the charts again. And that's what you need, you know. Doggy is looking funny as well. That's the range I was watching yesterday. Posted that on Twitter as well. Demand right below range lows. Swept up to these local highs. I was in longs on this one on my WSOT account as well. But like my entry was up here and I was targeting range high. Like I thought these were the sweeps. Just like with Bitcoin, you know. I thought these were the sweeps. But then this happened. So I was long on Bitcoin and on Doggy on my competition accounts. And, sorry. And, yeah, then everything went down. And luckily I had my stops on Bitcoin, as I said, right below range mean. And on Doggy, like this was even closer. I think I had my stops here. So my SOT account went like from what was it, 18k I had before, down to 9k, and then back up to 17k, and now I'm around like 16, 17k. So I dodged a pretty big bullet there. But yeah, currently no real thoughts on doggy. I think it's not looking the best right now, these 4-hour candles, right? These wicks in here. I'd feel more comfortable if we close a 4-hour up here above range mean, because as you can see, range mean is getting rejected for now. So strong close up here, then you buy the retrace into demand that's currently being built up at range lows, buy the retest there, and then bet on continuation. This one, AXL, also still in a long but low risk on the 10k account. Yeah, was just a fun trade, you know, shitcoin. I don't even know what it does, but it looked funny up here. I thought this was gonna do something crazy, and it did, but not to the upside. So yeah. Right, I think that's everything. Alright, now feel free to post some tickers in the chat. We'll do some requests. Just 1 second. All right. Let's see. AXS, DIM and AEVO. Sol, I will do. Tom and Kava. Kava. Starting with, what did I say? I'll start off with Sol, actually. So yeah, took a scalp long on Sol, actually, yesterday after the dump, because, like, holy shit, this was looking strong. It was so obvious that this was gonna break out once Bitcoin started chilling. So, I don't know, I longed like, but it was, to be honest, a horrible trade. I longed like, no, it wasn't a horrible trade, because it was high probability. The risk reward just wasn't there. But I still took it with low risk, unfortunately, because my Bitcoin longs and doggy longs were twice as big compared to this Sol long. But it was something like long here, stop below the range lows, and then target the range highs, something like this. But anyways, that one played out beautifully. What do I think about it right now? Honestly, still the same. I would be like, it's looking super strong on the low time frames, but it's still trading at high time frame supply. So it's still trading at the last resistance before all-time highs. Does that mean it's gonna hold? No. I would just be cautious aping into longs here. Because resistance is still resistance. Sentiment around it is also pretty damn bullish. So yeah, could it do this? For sure, why not? If it starts breaking above here, this gray area, yeah, then it will probably rip. But what I would do here, like, I wouldn't long into this. If you really want some Solana exposure, I would just buy spot. Buy spot. If it goes down and retests this area, buy some more, and you should be good. But you know, also the thing is, if you want a long here, where's your invalidation, right? I personally don't see a real invalidation except for all the way below here. You could argue below there now, but then still risk reward isn't the best. Like that's 1 hour to these highs. I don't know if you want to take it, okay, but probability wise, together with risk reward, not the best idea. AXS. That's an old one. Still these same range levels. Yeah, you can already see that this is one of the weaker ones, right? On the weekly, hasn't really done anything, so why would you bother trading this? Look for something more exciting. But if you really want my thoughts, it's basically just in this weekly range from here to here. Range high, swept, retests, and clean lows below. So I'd stay away from this. Right? Why would you, you know, if you're holding from, that's probably gonna be the case why you ask me what I think about this. Because you're holding from somewhere higher up and you're underwater and you don't want to take your loss. Well, let me tell you, I've done the same many times and I've held bags until they were down 99%. So have an invalidation and know a price where you want to take your losses. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck in your position and lose a lot more. And if you're not, if that's not the case, and you're not in a position, you just want to know my thoughts, well, I wouldn't touch this. Why would you touch something that looks like this when you have other options that look way more exciting, you know? So next, dim. Looks interesting, but the thing is with charts like these where they're ranging, sort of making a bottom, right? Because this was downtrending and now you're seeing ranging. So what I look for with charts like these is lows to be set, highs to be set, and then look for the sweep below range lows, look for the reclaim and enter there. But right here, lows are unswept, right? You have clean lows down here, down here, down here. So I would wait for those to go. See that? Yeah, it's just weak, you know. So yeah, I would wait for that below there, then strong reclaim, and then you could look for longs. But for now, middle of nowhere, no real clean plans. Aevo. Same thing, you know. Why do you want to know my thoughts on shit that looks like this? It's down 90% from the highs. Anyways, I hope you're not holding from all the way up there. I mean, yeah, same thing, you know. Could take this low and then the lows got swept. Right? And then you would have entered on the reclaim. So here, probably taken profit some profit at the first resistance, but then smashed back down. And now I don't see why you would buy something that looks like this. Right, you can clearly see the difference between this and, for example, something that looks like TIA, where you already have a settled range, right? Range low swept, reclaimed, and it's looking strong. Kava. Same thing. See this monthly. Old coin. Let's see the monthly range we're trading in. This is gonna be key. This got swept. And then last month's high and last month's low. Last month's high, last month's low, weekly, last week low, last week high. Okay, daily. So these are just pivots. Yeah, I don't like it, you know. Tons of lows down here. Clean liquidity all the way down to last month's low. Upside has some highs as well, which means I would either wait for a sweep of some lows and strength and a reclaim of a level, or a sweep of the highs and weakness back inside the range. Something like this. But overall, like, look for something else. Okay, look at this. Turbo. No problem. This looks more exciting, you know? You see? Let's see. Is there... Nuke, it's turbo. Is there a chart with like more... Oh yeah, this one. So, weekly breakouts closed above former all-time high. Boom. So basically... trading in price discovery, and if not, what are the levels that we can use? Well, former all-time high, and then it's probably gonna be this high first, right? Last week's low, important as well. There, and then we have current weekly high, which is, I think, gonna be a draw. Let's see, 4 hour. What I don't like is the look of the daily. Barely a wick to the downside. There. But reaction still pretty good. Yeah, 3 day. See, this would look much better if today's candle would have a wick below previous daily low. Right now it just looks like it wants to sweep some highs and come back down here. So that's also what I would be looking for. It's at resistance. Wait for this to come down here. While we're at it and we sweep current daily low, also sweep last week's low, take out liquidity below here, right? And then look to play it. Even then, at that point, right, you have a very close invalidation, because you can just assume that the sweep of that liquidity is going to be enough for a bounce, because you can keep your stop, like for example there. And as you can see, even just if it's a bearish retest, you already have decent risk reward. So if you do this, boom, right, enter here, stop right below there. Your first target is local highs right here into resistance, take some off in case this was a bearish retest, and we continue bleeding lower and hold some. So if you reclaim then some levels to the downside, close all. If not, and you keep ripping, happy days. And yeah, profit. Pendle we already did, mate. Learning a lot from these live streams. I'm glad to hear, man. Bonk we can do. Does Bonk not have perps on Bybit? Or it's probably like 1000. Yeah, okay. Let's see. This has actually always also been in a range for like ages, you know. Let me see. Range highs, range lows. Straight up, if this range breaks out, it's probably gonna do some crazy stuff. And I would say if it breaks out of this range high, that's your trigger on a weekly close, right? Above range high. For now, I'm not that excited, honestly. Because current range we're trading in would be this one. Yeah, and as you can see, that's not looking too hot. I feel like we need a lower sweep in here. Why? Well, so we've had, yeah, this wick all the way back down into demand where that move started from here. All the way back up, sweeping highs into resistance again, sold off again. Swept some lows into where the move came from again. So back in here. Back into resistance, swept some highs. Exact same thing, resistance, sold off. Swept some lows. Back into that demand, some ranging. Swept some highs into resistance, right? Range low, slightly front ran this demand area. How do you draw your range? You could draw them on all of these, but the current one, let me remove all of this, sideways price action that led to the upside, right? Let's take the 12-hour, a little bit cleaner. So this was the up move, trending up. Where did we stop trending up? This high. What did that high lead to? This low. Draw from the high to the low your range, right? What confirms the range immediately? The pivotal price action around range mean. It's not just the range. Support already here. Resistance, resistance, right? You can see here pivotal price action. And guess what? We broke below range mean. And now retesting from underneath. Clean lows below here, because yeah, you could see this as the sweep below range low, but you can clearly see that it didn't went below there that much, you see. So I feel like there's still gonna be a lot of liquidity down there. And what was I going to say? Yeah, we front ran all of this, right? So what I would be interested in, if I was looking for longs on this, would be a lower sweep in there. And not sure we're gonna get it, but that's when I would feel comfortable in longs. Either that or yeah, probably strength above range high, but that's not my kind of setup, you know. So then at that point I'd probably just pass and move on. But hey, that's just my thoughts, you know. Stonks? Sure. I haven't really done this one though. But this looks really good, I think. It's this one, right? See, that's what I like about this. Oh. Yeah, but it's probably the same. Yeah, a lot more data. But still, it's that range that I really like here. So from here, accumulation, up, retest, new leg, form a range, deviate below this range low into demand, key level, back up, reclaim, retest. Yeah, in my opinion, this looks ready for double what it is right now. By the way, gold and silver are doing really good lately as well. I've been in gold for a very long time, but like on a stock account, different, and like it's not that much compared to crypto, which sucks because of how good this is doing. But still, I'm up a lot on it, and I bought physical gold as well on this blue line here. So that was crazy. I was really bullish on gold in this entire weekly range. So yeah. Initially I was targeting up here and here, but then I was like, you know, it's not about purely, at least about just selling these levels, but also about thinking like what is it worth compared to your complete portfolio, right? That's also a different way to look at Bitcoin. Like back in the day I said like at those prices I will sell my Bitcoin, but it's like you don't. You just look at how much it's worth compared to your complete net worth, and if it's if it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you just sell some so it evens out, you know? And that's the same with gold. And gold for me still isn't worth that much to sell some, so I'm just holding this. And silver as well. Silver has been doing good, but hasn't broken all-time highs yet. I think it's just a matter of time before this heads for all-time highs as well. I had charts on this as well. I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. You see? Charted it from down here. It's crazy how beautiful these charts are. Monthly range low lining up with this monthly range mean. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Broke above, retest, and now trending up. So next target up here, and up here. I think this is just heading for all-time highs. CKB, is that a coin? Never heard of it. Oh, seems like I do. I did. You know, I don't like it when you see like a coin that's squeezed a lot, retraced the entire move, and then puts in a pump into resistance and just is selling off again. So I don't like it immediately, because the chances of this doing this are way too high. So sorry, but not interested in this one. Sundog. All right, we'll do Ina and Render, and those will be the last ones. Sundog. So quite some lows swept here, but not looking too strong, right? What you want to see after a sweep of the lows? Well, we haven't really swept these, so maybe wait for that. But anyways, if this would have been enough, what you want to see is the sweep and then boom, strong close, then buy the retest, sell the highs. So in this case, probably wait for a bullish signal, right? Wait for a break above here again, and then look to buy the retest of this area and sell the highs, or close some at the highs, hold the rest for higher. And otherwise, I would be waiting for lower prices, maybe sweep these lows, and then again, wait for that reclaim. Render. Let's see. That's not the one. I think it's this one, right? Where is Binance chart? Oh, okay. That's gonna be a key level, right? The low after all of this downside, decent bounce. Let's see, clean range mean as well. You see pivotal, support, flipped it to resistance here as well. If you take a look at it, probably, yeah, on the low time frames, initially support, but then broke below resistance. But what I don't like are all of these lows. So I would either wait for a smash back inside this range and a strong weekly close up here, and then you can buy the retest and put your invalidation below the lows. But right here, right, doing that, longing and putting your stop there is just asking for a stop out in my opinion. So then I'd wait for something like this, a sweep, an aggressive candle to the downside, and then look for longs on the reclaim with close stops here or here, and then look for higher. And targets would be, yeah, this range honestly, some highs here, here into range mean, and then up into range highs and above here, new all-time highs. Okay, so thank you all for joining. That's gonna be the end of the stream. Like I said, if you want more analysis, more thoughts, and be able to chat with me or ask questions, join the Discord. All you have to do is make an account on Bybit where I take all my trades, where I trade. It's a great exchange, it's safe. So the link is in the description. If you use the link, you also get Coin Market Manager for free. All paid features completely free on that account that you link under my link. So it's definitely worth checking it out. Head over to the description. Leave a like on the stream if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. And I will see you next Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend all. And stay safe in the markets. Bye.